I have Kallan H.S. Shankar VSM. Kallan Shankar did his ME Applied Electronics from IISc in 1973. He has done, previous to this, his BE in Electrical with specialization in Electronics in 1964 from University of Mysore, securing the first class and 9th rank for the university. After completion of Army Officers Training in 1964, he was posted to a field unit and fought for the country on the Indo-Pak Wars of 65 and 71. He held many prestigious posts in the Army, served with distinction as an instructor at the Military College of Electronics and Mechanical Engineering, Chief Maintainability Engineer of MAG No. 1, and as the commanding officer of the Corps Maintenance Area Workshop. He took voluntary retirement in April 1986. Post-retirement, he joined Bharat Electronics Limited as a Deputy General Manager of R&D in May 1986. He held various appointments at BEL, culminating in his selection as a Director of R&D at BEL from August 1995 to March 2003. It was under his supervision as production head that BEL produced more than 75,000 electronic voting machines, EVMs that are called as, paving the way for their widespread use in Indian elections. He spearheaded a large number of indigenous development projects and was awarded outstanding contribution to R&D in 2003. In 2004, Kallan Shankar established a new company, Alpha Design Technologies Private Limited. As chairman and managing director of Alpha Design Technologies Private Limited, he was the driving force behind the establishment of ultra-modern R&D and production facilities through a series of joint venture companies and collaborations with technology leaders in India and overseas. The company made significant progress in this regard under his leadership and is now considered as one of the fastest growing R&D and manufacturing firms for the defense and private sector in India. Kallan Shankar is the recipient of many prestigious awards. He was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Society of Indian Aerospace Technologies and Industries in 2016 and was named the Electronics Man of the Year in 2017 and 18 and Elsinia Annual Awards. We are honored to have Kallan H.S. Shankar as a distinguished alumnus of this institute for the year 2022. So the citation from the selection committee for exemplary service in the armed forces and outstanding industrial leadership in the defense sector in line with Make in India. I would now request Kallan Shankar to say a few words.
Honorable Director and my colleague and honored awardees sitting along with me on the dais. Very many veterans I see here, those who have contributed enormously to the growth of science and engineering in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, of course it is a great pleasure and honor to be with you all and also to be the recipient of this award from my own alma mater, which is very dear and near to all of our hearts. Well, I thank Professor Phanindra for enlarging and adding on to the biodata. Very nicely told, sir, and thank you very much. And all this is due to, of course, the alma mater and the grounding that we had here. Actually, looking back on that, I was from BMS College of Engineering, did my engineering in 1964, as it was told by Professor Phanindra also. And at that time, as you know, in 1962, Indian Army faced a defeat from Chinese. And we were very badly beaten. We were all engineering students at the time. A mobile services selection board came to our BMS Engineering College, and we had till that time not much of intention of joining the army. In our class, actually, there were about 60 chaps. And we had a professor who was well known to be a very boring professor. And as you know, as students, you will always find methodology of escaping the interesting or whatever talk that he would give. So we all decided that we will all go for the interview, because at least we will be away for about 1 or 2 hours from his lecture. So we all went for that, and as luck would have it, I got struck up. 6 of us got struck up actually, and 4 of us later joined the army, and it was on what is called as the university entry scheme. And the thing was that in the final year, we were in the pre-final year. Final year, we would get 400 rupees per month as our own stipend, which was quite a great sum at the time. But actually, they didn't pay us till the time we joined the army, because they wanted to be sure that these guys who are selected to join the army, only then they gave. But it gave as a pleasant thing, because 4,800 rupees in a bunch was quite a good sum. So anyhow, so that made us join the Indian Army. And of course, in the final engineering, I got very good marks, and I was 9th rank for the university, which was quite good at that time. We were Mysore University as a whole, and not bits and pieces that we have today. And then everybody advised me, why do you want to go and join the army? Because only those who do not have brains, who do not get any other job, they join the army. And also they get spoiled very easily in the army. All this were told, but my father asked me, no, nothing doing. There was a war on, and so they want the engineers, so you better go and join. And by that time, I had also read something more, and so we joined the academy. So lo and behold, as soon as the training was completed and we became officers of the Indian Army as second lieutenants, ours was the first course straight from the academy days. After the training, we were sent away straight away to the battle areas. The 1965 war was, the storm was gathering, sort of. So we were all sent to the Punjab border. So I had the honor of, again, participating in a good war which we had with Pakistan, and which we won also, Indian Army. And it was, as you know, a good break from the 1962 debacle, and it boosted the morale of Indian troops as well as for the whole of the country. And we stayed in Pakistan for about good 6 months, because at that time there was a lull, and ceasefire was announced by the then Prime Minister, late Lal Bahadur Shastri. And then after that we came back, of course, to our own areas. And we had gone up to the Ichogil Canal. We were to have gone to Lahore, but that couldn't take place because of the ceasefire. So we came back, and then back to the our own army routine. At that time, the spirit was very high. So that was 1965, and then we went on for various other, appointments and others in the army, each more interesting than the other. Then I had the opportunity of going for an interview at Army headquarters for those to be selected for post-graduation. They used to send 2 officers from the defense forces to the Indian Institute of Science, and then 2 to IIT Madras and things like that. At that time, all the IITs also used to get 2 Army, Navy, Air Force officers on a rotation basis. And I was lucky enough to get it in my own hometown, Bangalore. So I came over here, and at that time we used to get the salary of a major. I was a major by that time. So I came over here, and so I was getting about 1,150, I remember, whereas all my students, my colleague students, were getting about 250 rupees as the stipend. So I was a money chap at the time, and that had good points and bad points, in the sense you go to the canteen and all that and sit below that tree, that famous canteen which is no longer there, I think. And there, the bill naturally used to come to me. I used to pay it happily, because that used to give me some power and authority to control the 16 students we had. And Those 16 students, when we came, you see, when I'd gone to the army and I served for about almost 7 years, you see, your brain will be coated with olive green paint also. So first is after you enter this particular institute, that is to be taken out, because all of your classmates, they're all 20, 21-year-old chaps, and most of them are 1 and 2 from each of the universities. And by the time the professor would start writing on the board or telling some topic, they would nod their head and he would go to the next topic. So I had to literally call them and tell them, look, my dear friends, tomorrow onwards, if anybody, nods his head, think that head itself will be cut off. So I used to be quite a dada at that time. So, and they used to take it also in a very sportive manner. We had a very, very fine, friendly and fine a group of people. And we had lots of fun, of course, in that. And naturally, since being a major, you're always picked out in the class. So all the professors, all the lecturers, and everybody would give special preference to this. And also they were somehow, in the sense, quite considerate. And also they used to think that, look, this fellow has come from army, poor fellow, where this thing and all that. And probably I used to get some extra marks. That's my feeling, though I may not have desired, and I know that my own other colleague would have written better answers, I will get some 2 more marks, etc. So luckily I could get the distinction from here also. And before coming to the Indian Institute of Science, I must tell that I was posted to Sikkim, and from Sikkim I was there for 2 years, and then the war with Bangladesh was on. And we were sent from Sikkim, our complete division moved from the Chinese border to Bangladesh. So I had the opportunity of again taking part in the 1971 operations. And over there we had the Tiger Cat missiles, which is the ground-to-air missiles, which Indian Army had bought from UK. Unfortunately, that missile did not have what is called as the night firing capability. In the sense it could be fired only during the daytime to kill the approaching aircraft. So when we were using it on the ground, we were actually giving protection to a bridge there in Bangladesh. We saw the Tiger Cat missiles being on one side, and also the radars being made by my later on alma mater, Bharat Electronics Super Federal radars. That was also kept there. And the target information used to be physically being fed from that to the Tiger Cat missiles. When these radars had the night operations also in the auto track mode, it would automatically track the approaching aircraft. So that gave me an idea that, and our own colleagues over there, as to why not match these two. They're all, after all, next to each other. So we, utilizing the auto track facility of the Super Federal radar, for the Tiger Cat missiles, we connected it up. So in that way, it got the night firing capability also for the Tiger Cat missiles. So that was used also very successfully. And later on, after coming back, I could get what is called the Vishishta Seva Medal from the President of India, which was an honor bestowed on me. So anyhow, from there, from the war zone back to Bangalore, the fantastic place, and it was very welcome, of course. But before coming over there from Bangladesh, I must tell another 2-3 minutes, sir. So I must tell that I had the very, very happy opportunity of seeing 93,000 Pakistani troops being paraded, and all of them surrendered their arms and ammunition, took off their belts, put it on in front of them, and they surrendered to the Indian Army. And that was a very happy occasion. It is still in front of my eyes. That sort of an honorable and very great opportunity of seeing that. And as luck would have it, immediately after that, they made me in charge of the prisoner of war camp, mind you. So what all I have done in life. Okay. So they made me do that, and over there in Babina, Jhansi, went over there. I was the camp commandant. And at that time, it was a very good education because I could meet the Pakistani soldiers, Pakistani officers and could develop a one-to-one relationship, because we were looking them after very well. You know, Indian Army is famous for its generosity and also hospitality. The best of the food, best of the accommodation was given to them, and so they became close friends. And they were telling as to the difference between the Indian Army and the Pakistani Army. They said, as an Indian Army, the young officers would lead from the front, whereas the Pakistanis, they would sit back, allow the other ranks, the JCOs and then the Havaldars equivalent, they would go on the front, whereas these chaps would only give commands on the backside. So they said that is one of the biggest differences which we found for our defeat and all that. That is an education. Came over here, had a 2 years innings over here, and did the project in aeronautical engineering department, doing the RF seeker over there. Sorry, optoelectronic seeker as my project. And as luck would have it, only now we are doing now as part of my present company, the RF seeker for the missiles which Dr. Prahlada is sitting here. When he was the director of DRDL, he started a project called as MRSAM, Medium Range Surface to Air Missile. The one he did it when he was there himself, that is the Akash missiles, has just been cleared, and it is there everywhere in the newspaper, almost about Bharat Electronics and BDL have got an order, if I'm correct, almost about 50,000 crore rupees. So with him, we worked together, and the MR-SAM has an RF seeker, which we are manufacturing now as part of my own company, Alpha Design Technologies in Hyderabad. So it's a circle that goes round and round in everybody's life. And on that basis, we are proceeding. So I must tell that the opportunities that are there today cannot be equated with what the industries had in even about 15 years back, 20 years back. The fantastic facilities are given, funding and whatever it is required is given, and Government of India supports, all the three services support us, and we do only, of course, in our present company, the defense and avionics and space activities. All the three spheres of activities, we are quite successful. We started, three of us, after I finished my tenure at Bharat Electronics. It is a true startup, and now we have 1,200 people, 700 engineers, young engineers, and most of them in the 21 to 29 age group. And we have followed one principle, that take them only from the lower income and lower middle class groups, because each one of them support in their houses 5 to 6 people. There is a hunger in their stomach. You give a good platform, good R&D projects, they will create wonders. And mind you, 50% out of them are ladies. All the ladies here, I must clap for them, because these lady engineers, pardon my saying so, they do better than our men engineers. They go to field areas, they go for the trials evaluation, and they generally come back winning the particular project. Maybe because they are ladies, the army guys and others select that, whatever it is, and they come back. So it is a good thing that we have so many ladies. And what we are now doing is to give a lot of impetus to the startups and provide the facilities for them. But only thing, sir, that actually it is a little bit of a worry about the startup is they start only thinking about money and money only. And each one of them, if 3 or 4 youngsters are there who make a startup, they want $1 million or $2 million at the end of their 3 years, 4 years work. And most of them are some apps sort of businesses only, and not the hardcore engineering, hardcore equipment and systems that may be needed. Well, I think all of you gentlemen and people like us should advise them also to get on to this. That is my feeling about it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm correct, I don't know. So coming back to this, I must tell something about my wife and others, because Dr. Rajalakshmi, she was the first one to speak here. and she thanked her husband, everybody. So my wife and my son and my daughter-in-law are there, and the grandson is sitting here in the front and making everybody's life miserable as he does in the house. His name is Ahan. And the other one, Adit, is sitting there along with my son Praveen. He's from IIT Bombay and is now in Seattle with his pretty wife Melinda. And they're all here. And my wife also, I must mention her name, otherwise she will take objection, as my other friend also, Srivastava, also said the same thing. You know, we're all scared of our wives. I don't know why. All of us, let us be honest about it. So, you know, myself, Srivastava, we're all frank enough over here. But some of you are even shy even to say that they are scared of their wives. So my wife Shubha is also sitting there. And mind you, I must remember Indian Institute of Science because I got married to her when I was in the last semester, when I was doing one project, that project in aeronautical engineering. I had started another project in the house. Okay, so that's how it transpired. So I must be grateful to that. I had wonderful professors, learned quite a lot of things. Grateful and gratitude to everybody, my classmates, and there some of them are here. My mentors are here. And I was really overwhelmed by the director's presentation as to how and what strides Indian Institute of Science has taken, and also taken a new direction almost. And the way in which he was rattling off the funding which he has raised in all in hundreds of crores, I had half a mind of coming and requesting him that after he retires, sir, please join the industry and be our financial advisor, and also keep sending a few odd $1 million or $1 billion or crores. Most welcome, sir. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for giving me this great opportunity of being with you. It's a great pleasure. I know that I am a sort of an odd man out in this crowd because very, very eminent people are there for this thing, but then somehow or the other I sneaked into it. And thanks to probably the selection committee headed by Professor Dr. Prahlad and company and the director. So he must have seen, okay, sometimes let us also look after these army guys. And with that, I'm here. And my friend Rajaram is here. And all of the people are there. And my colleague, Dr. Ramchand is here. And Mr. Srikanth is a very famous journalist. He gives, impetus to all the scientific and engineering activities. And all of you friends are here. Wish you all the best, all the happiness, and good health, which I think Anit Srivastava also mentioned it. And wish you the very, very best with you and your family. Thank you. God bless. Jai Hind.
I would request Professor Rangarajan to give the Distinguished Alumnus Award to Colonel Shankar. Thank you, Professor Rangarajan. Thank you, Colonel Shankar.